Hello everyone. Introduce my name is Ruth Cahaya Bungahari. You can call me Caca. I'm a student from Bina Sarana Informatika University and I'm from the Office Administration Study Program. And this is my first project assignment in the English for a secretary lab course. Okay everyone. In the blue text is the text that I have completed before and it is the answer to the part 1 task. The same goes for the second and third part task. Okay, just go straight to the discussion of the material. Here is the task. I will read back the text that I displayed earlier. You can see the text on the screen. I will read part 1 first. Part 1 completed this text. Baby caterpillar was tried all summer long. She had been traveling. One slowly through the green world where she lived and feeding on the green leaves that grew near her home. Now autumn had come and Mother Nature had given a holiday to the leaves, who put on their new dress of red and gold and played tag with the breezes. Baby caterpillar wanted to play, too but could not run so fast as the happy little leaves, and she grew very tired and thought she would like a nap. So she found a cozy place among the branches of a grapevine and made herself a soft, silky blanket. Then she rolled herself away within it, and then, in her queer little cradle, went to sleep. One night late in the fall, Jack Force came over the hill. He spied the cradle swinging to and fro, and began to play roguely with it. For who is a rogue, his little fellow, and touches everything that comes in his way. But the warm blanket he hid the little sleeper so that Jack could not find her. By King Winter come, bringing beautiful snow blanks to Mother Nature's flower babies. He gently rocked the cradle, waves as he passed, and whispered, "Sleepy baby, sleep. You have no need of my blanks." At least spring come with the sunbeams, the best and merriest of Mother Nature's helps. They awoke the flowers from their long winter nap and called to the birds and the brooks to begin their song. One day come to the little brown cradle. They stopped to rest, and baby caterpillar began to get very warm under the thick blanket. She wake up and stretched herself, and her cradle broke, and she came out to greet the spring. But what I chanced instead of the old ding grass that she wanted to sleep in, she now had a beautiful yellow one, and instead of crawling among the leaves, she flew up and away into the sweet spring air to play with the sunbeams and flowers. And the little children called her a butterfly. Okay, let's continue reading in part 2. Part 2 completed the dialogue. So Meg, you are talking about being in the military and you said you were a medic. Can you explain what that is? Meg, yeah. So a medic, which now I believe is called healthy care specialist, is I always say it's kind of similar to being like a paramedic, where it's not a full nurse job. I think nurse have more training like in civilian side nurse, but similar to paramedic where you have written like minor procedure that you're trying to do and higher level things than just an AMT like doing IVs and giving shots and stitches and things like that. And you're training because it's the military, you're especially training for emergency situation and how to treat someone who has maybe some serious life threatening wounds. So that's a medic. Thought, wow, that sounds like a really difficult job. I mean, it's not your typical just soldier job. You must have had a lot of schooling and education. Meg, I had. Well, everyone got through the initial about 2.5 months like basic training, and that's more keen of basic combat skills and physical training, that kind of thing. And then I had 4 months past that to train to be a medic. So we went through like emergency medical technician course just like civilian side. I got creatified with that. And then we had additional training for the military skills like IVs and emergency procedures. That kind of thing, thought, right? Can you explain what IV is? Meg, IV is in intravenous, like getting fluids into your body. So if you've been injured and you've lost a lot of blood, or maybe you're dehydrated and you need some fluid in your body quickly, then we stick a needle into your vein and then your fluids go in and the needle comes back out, but a little tub stays in and then you can get fluids quickly that way. Third, so anybody that's been to the doctors knows that that's always kind of the initial moment when the nurse or the person is going to stick the needle in. Where you got at doing that? Meg, so once I learned how to do it. I think I was pretty good, and I actually enjoyed doing it. Not in a creepy way, but it was, I guess, because I was decent at it, that it was a part of my job that I enjoyed. But for myself, before you want to try the training, I actually become dehydrated and needed to get an IV myself, and I was terrified because I really hadn't had that before in my life. And so the nurse was going to come, but the needle in my arm, and I was like, no, isn't there another? I'll just drink a lot of water. And she was saying, already you going to be a medic? And I was like, I haven't trained yet, right? Thought, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was recently in the hospital and they had me strapped up for bad blood and for the water, the intravenous drip, and it's annoying because you can't really move. Like if you want to get up and walk anywhere, you're strapped with all these tubs, and it's not very convenient, Meg. Yeah, or at least you have to careful. When I was getting the IV, I didn't know that the needle doesn't stay in your arm. No, for some things it does. For blood, maybe it's different, I'm not sure, but yeah, so I was trying to be so careful too. But you still want it to go well. So you don't want to move very much. Todd, right. Right. So what percentage of people would you say freak out when they get the noodle? Meg, probably 20 or 20 probably 90 or 95%. Third, oh really? Meg, yeah, even thug army guys would come in and they be, oh I am fine, and they be like, well, we need to give you an IV, and they be like, oh Todd, right, yeah, nobody likes that. Meg, no Todd, so you transition, you were in the medical profession and then you move it to education. Why did you leave? Why did you leave the medical profession over education? Meg, yeah, that's interesting because I become medical in the military because I thought after when I called continue college that I would be a nurse or a doctor, but my time serving as a medic helped me learn that was not what I wanted to do for my career after all. So I definitely am glad that I had those skills and these things that I learned and was able to experience, but I had kind of been the back burner, and so then I said, okay, let me revise this, and it led to English education. Third, pilots like teaching doctor and nurse. Meg, I haven't talked about the specifically. Sometimes I talk about going back to military. They do have some English schools in the military, and so I guess that would be related. Also, it could be, yeah. So that will be interesting, something to think about. And at least reading in part 3. Part 3 answer the question correctly through the audio. 1. What kind of home would he want to have? Well, I don't know. Normally dream of like an enormous mansion or anything. I guess almost more importantly for me, it's to have some land. With the house, like I don't like neighbor. I would want my neighbor to be, just there, 5 feet away from my house. I'd like to have a little bit of space. 2. What would he like to live near? America. 3. What do they talk about? They talk about their ideal home. 4. What does he want in his ideal house? Big bedroom, small bedroom, big kitchen, small kitchen, bigger is better. A 2-car garage is also good. Maybe I can put a small library, less books, maybe a pool table, but one room that I can use to do what I want. 5. Little that conversation with your own word, giving the detailed information. A friend of Mark's asked him home question about what kind of house we wanted, and some other question that we are still under discussion regarding his ideal house. And Mark answered the question with his explanation. He wanted to have a nice house, and more importantly, he wanted to have land for the house. He didn't want the distance from his neighbors to be limited to 3 meters. He wanted to have a little space, and he wanted to live in America. Mark explained his ideal house. He wanted to have a big bathroom, a small bathroom, a big kitchen, a small kitchen. The bigger the better. A garage for 2 cars would be good too. Maybe I could put a small library plus books, maybe a pool table, but one room that I could use to do what I want. Thank you for watching my video from start to finish, and see you in the next project. Bye bye.